given her strict schooling, I suppose something like this would seem interesting in contrast to the only life she's known. It sounds like your previous school was a lot of fun. I'm not really sure how much of it's nostalgia, but there are some nice memories. That's in the past though. I can't go back there now, but though my accident, I found a new life that I never would have imagined leading. The peace and calm of Yamako, a new direction for my future in science, the friendship of Chizumi, Micha, Hanako, and most of all, you. She gives a deep, genuine smile and she moves her hands towards me, her fingers just slightly searching out of my face before softly caressing my cheek. Her hand reluctantly retreats after a second more silence, as we notice the waiter arriving with our meals. Lilly does a deft job of covering her condition, except for the fact that her nod to him is slightly misaligned due to his silence. She really seems to work hard at appearing as no responsible in public. While I noticed it long ago, I still can't quite gauge whether it's a want not to be treated differently, a slight sense of vanity, or a mixture of both. The dish served lives up to the salad name, and the portions pleasantly large with sliced eggs and tomatoes. It looks very enticing indeed. Lilly takes her knife in one hand and a fork in the other, and quickly, gently getting to work on the dish as I do. It's later than when we usually have dinner, so we're both eager to dig in. With cautious squirming of leaves and vaguely meat-like squares with the fork, it's matched with Lilly's silent measured prodding and chewing. An occasional tap around the sides of the piece of the food to work out the stretches, the only giveaway of her lack of sight. I'm done with my meal in little time. Lilly taking the last few bites, I sit observing her. Finish the salad? Yep, it was pretty nice. That much is very true. I never thought a simple salad could be so tasty filling, and then again, I suppose that's why it costs so much to eat here. The contents with my appraisal and eventually agreeing. Lilly gets a small nod. You know, given that you're part foreign and started looking and quite pretty, I'm surprised that nobody ever confessed to you before. You're assuming nobody did? The simple statement takes me off guard. I shouldn't be surprised given that I was complimenting her just moments before. Really? I received several confessions both in this school and from my previous one. Adolescence is a funny time. She's kind of talking that she was above it herself. Oh, how easily you say such thing. Lilly looks surprised for a moment before a playful smirk covers her face. Is that jealousy? What? No, it isn't. You're a bad liar, Hasawa. You should take that into account. Then again, I do appreciate how sincere you are, even if you don't intend to be sometimes. I think your honesty will always serve you well when dealing with others. I clear my throat in mock disapproval of this whole business and try to steer the conversation elsewhere. To tell the truth though, I do prefer solitude, being surrounded by others. I don't think I could maintain a social circle like you do. She contemplates for a moment. I don't think that's true either. I see how gentle and caring you are around Hanako, and you get on marvelously well with others even though whom you hardly know. I think you're quite adept at social situations. But on that note, what of your confessions, Hasawa? I'm sure someone like you must have at least one admirer. As I open my mouth to speak, I can feel my face slightly dour. At times like this, I secretly appreciate the fact that she can see my expressions. Just one. Her name was Iwanako. It was when she confessed to me that I had a heart attack there in the wait. It was when she confessed to me that I had a heart attack there in the during winter. Lilly finds herself speechless, not expecting the topic to move in such area. My condition has always been something of concern for her, something that I can strive to minimize despite my body's best efforts to the contrary. Afterwards, she visited me for a while when I was in the hospital. For a week, she came in, talked. It was usually just small talk or classroom gossip, but that was enough. But eventually, she just stopped coming. She was there every day, then every other day, then once a week, then finally one day she just stopped visiting entirely. Did you ever see her again? Wrapped in my own little world, I shake my head, remembering the futility of this gesture. I gotta be honest with her. She can read me like a book. Mention the letter. The memory of that single letter sent me comes back to mind. I never saw her again, but after a while, I was sent to Yamako, she wrote me one letter. Lily's face shows the expression I know well. It's piqued their interest. It's slightly offended that I simply... Wait, no, let me read that again, because it seems to be important. Lily's face showed an expression I know well. It piqued her interest. I'd be slightly offended that it's simply a matter of curiosity from her, but she's never been very good at masking her reactions. In hindsight, it really didn't say much what was going on in my old class, how she was faring and almost as the wait, give me a second. Why can I not read this? In hindsight, it really didn't say much what was going on in my old class, how she was faring, and almost had an afterthought that it was probably the best for both of us that we don't see each other again. After reading it, I ended up recessing a lot of things I thought I managed to work out. For the most part, the letter reminded me that the world around me was still moving and just how much I become isolated from it. And I guess it also reminded me of what I lost. She gives the information some thought before her face lights up in realization. No doubt she worked out that this letter, which I contributed to my angst during the lunch on the rooftop. It's a rare sight to see Lily quite lost for words. Her entire persona is a little deflated from her earlier rapt interest. And charismatic as she is, in the end, that isn't any replacement for life, no relationship experience. Perhaps it is better that she sent. Perhaps it is better that she sent it than not. How is that? It can be difficult to work out how to best communicate those who haven't met for a long time. All the more so concerning your separate situations. Instead of doing what was the easiest, she built up the courage to talk to you one last time. Not only for her sake, but how it sounds for yours as well. Maybe I don't hate her for it. Not that I really ever did, but I don't know. Probably a more non-committal answer. Non-committal answer I should get, but this isn't without a cause. I never looked at the situation from Inago's perspective like that before. Alright, let's see. Seconds pass in silence before Lily speaks again. Moving to Yamako must have been hard for you. Having your friends and even your girlfriend taken away from you oh my god, I can't read today. Sorry, guys. Having your friends and even your girlfriend taken from you for no fault of your own. The worst of it passes while I was at the hospital. When all that surrounds you, it's four white walls and a small television, your mind takes a life of its own. It's like my old school, I guess. I just try not to dwell on what's happening and I keep thinking ahead. All that reminiscing does get me down. And it's largely thanks to you that it feels like things are finally getting back on track. That's pleasant to hear, Hasao. She lowers her face slightly, her expression pensive. I guess I went too far to embarrass her. I suppose you went through something a bit like that when you did enter Yamako anyway, right? I imagine the vast majority of your school students did after all. You said yourself you made friends in your old school. I can't imagine many followed you. Lily's deep smile drops, her expression is unexpectedly darkening. Even her hands retreat to her lap. After a long while, she speaks. Hisao, can you promise not to tell anyone else what I'm about to do? I promise. She looks slightly taken back by my serious tone, but then relents a smile weakly before continuing. When I moved to Yamako, I did regret losing my friends I had at my other school. But there was one person who I most regret not seeing again. He was the reason I took English as my future career. Considering she came from a girls' school, that can't have been a schoolmate then. I rejected the confessions I received until then for him. Every time I improved English skills, he praised me I rejected the confessions I received until then for him. Every time I improved my English skills, he praised was most treasured reward. It's funny, isn't it? Someone like me able to boast about the people who have set eyes on me, liking someone early on the table as my tutor. It's truly the most ridiculous thing. Did you? She quickly shook her head from side to side. I couldn't, even I knew it was impossible. A silence reigns over both of us. This does seem to explain her ardent focus on her future in teaching English, but I can't help thinking of her confession to me. She lost him without ever letting her feelings be known. Did she somehow fear that would happen again, but with me? I don't really know what to make of it. I heard such relationships before, taboos born on such things as puberty and youth. The fact that she had the good judgment not to act on it, though, is heartening. I know this must sound silly, but please, don't think of me. Why would I think any less of you for that? To be honest, I think you must have been a very nice person if you liked him so much. Not only that, but you stopped yourself before going too far. For a moment, she looks somewhat lost, most unexpectedly though. It is the second before she starts to laugh, the sound that takes me off guard. It's not a giggle nor a restrained chuckle, but honest, genuine laughter. I find myself smiling, not just at her display of relief and happiness, but her trust me enough to let me see the most private secrets. Before I realize her palm is touching my face, her touch is gentle as ever, with her thumb slowly stroking my cheek. You are kind, Hisao. I really do love you. Seeing her face like this, with her palm gently caressing my face, I think tonight has been a wonderful night. I guess we both have pretty weird pasts, eh? I think by most standards, our presence is rather odd as well. I smile and hang my head. This woman can easily run the rings around me. Of that I'm quite sure. I look back around the room. It's a continued quiet home of patrons. This place probably fits into the odd category too. Is a tad overbearing? That's one of the words for it, yeah. I catch the skirt of a waiter, short, scrawny guy, no older than 20. He kind of reminds me of Kenji, though unlike him, the waiter isn't dressed for winter during midsummer. After a curt bow and offer to remove our plates, Lilly asks for the bill politely and softly. With expert coordination, he maneuvers around the plates, our plates in hand, to retrieve our bill. In no time, he reappears through the door, smartly handing our bill to Lilly, who promptly hands it to me, causing him to raise an eyebrow. As I read the small computer printed leaflet, the cost is completely more than I expected. That's how? I quickly step her out of the mount, to which Lilly merely nods and reaches for her purse. Give her card to the waiter, he disappears once again. That was a disproportionately large amount of money. The statement seems to make Lilly slightly uncomfortable. My family leaves me more than enough for my education. The same goes for my sister, though she dislikes being reminded of that fact. That said, I too dislike throwing money about, but this one time I think I can make an exception just for you. Ah. Not only did you choose our date, you pay for both of us as well. I take the bridge of my nose. I can't believe how high you have set the bar for our next date. She gets a small giggle. I'll be looking forward to it, Hisao. The waiter reappears beside us by magic and has Lilly's card back to her. Evidently picking up her lack of sight, he places the card in her hand, with extra perhaps a needed amount of firmness to make sure her grip. Leaving, he exercises a measure of diplomacy to keep on neutral face despite my own expression. Clapping my hands together, I sit up from my seat, and in order to bring an end to our night out. Shall we be off then, my lady? Oh, I said my lady. I'm such a gentleman. Hisao, you're a gentleman. Thank you for making me look good. Let's see where we at today. What? Yeah. I snap upwards out of my sheets and I sit bolt upright in my bed as if an electric shock had just run through my entire body. The night air feels cold against my sweat on bare skin, breathing short and rugged nearly to the point of hyperventilation. Mind racing, I bring my hand to my head and attempt to soothe my body's panic state. It takes a number of seconds to realize my hand is shaking violently, even as I press it against my face. More seconds pass as I complete silence my desperate attempts to my subdued body and mind slowly thankfully working. Gathering myself, I start taking measurement of the state I am in. It feels like I've run a marathon, every muscle feeling tense as I sweat practically pouring off me. I carefully direct my attention to the beating of my chest, measuring out the rhythm in my head. Sure enough, my unreliable heart is functioning properly for once. Just what the hell was that? A heart attack? A bad nightmare? Medicine side effect? I heard about panic attacks, and this does seem to have the hallmarks of one. I can't even be bothered thinking about it right now. I feel utterly exhausted yet completely awake after this experience. I look over to the other side of my bed, the pale white of the silent figure's face almost glowing in the nighttime darkness of the room. Just aside for her, it's enough to calm me down significantly. Her graceful demeanor persists even while she's asleep, her perfect measured breathing and gentle face making it impossible to tell whether she's awake or truly sleeping. Giving into my temptation to delicately run my fingers over her hand. Her skin's so soft to the touch, and it's always been, yet warm even in the cold night. It's at times like this I simply appreciate each other's presence that I feel we're closest. My fingers stop at her wrist, and I bring back my head back down to... I can't read. My fingers stop at her wrist, and I bring my hand back down to the bed beside me. I'm not entirely sure why, but as we became closer to each other, it felt as something grew between us. I'm not entirely sure what it is, nor whether it existed before we fallen in love. Everything is moving so fast, I don't think it at all. But it feels unlikely Lilly to be pushing things this much. Thankfully, there aren't any students miling around the hallways at this hour of the morning, lest I be interrogated why I'm carrying 2 plates of breakfast to my room while dressed in an obviously hasty dumb uniform. That isn't to say that... Wow, I can't... Let me take a water break because I'm rushing. I'm rushing so it makes sense to you guys listening to these stories. That isn't to say things like this never happen, of course. A single security guard patrolling between 2 sets of bedrooms situated right next to each other is a very small force compared to the Allen's hormones. Come to think of it, the fact that it's Monday morning probably helps. Not really sure why, but Mondays seem to bother me less than they do most others. It takes a little creative use of my hands and elbows to eventually manage to work the door to my dormitory room open. Step inside, I see Lily getting up from the bed, entirely rubbing her eyes. She looks a mess, just like other times I've seen her soon after she wakes. She really isn't a morning person. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. She growly shakes her head. The morning light illuminating her makes a very pleasant sight. It's okay, I need to get up anyway. What time is it? I put my plate down on my desk and I turn to the clock around to check the time. Still early, don't worry. There's plenty of time left before school. She sits on the side of the bed and begins to sniff the air. She does so. I quickly move the plate away and put it on the desk beside me. Yes, I got some breakfast. Shower and clothes come first though. She stands still for a moment and her chin pointed slightly out. I glided acquaintance and pressed my lips to her, savoring the soft feeling before breaking off. With a small sweet smile, apparently quite satisfied, she slowly makes her way to the showers. I stretch to try and wake myself a little bit more, briefly looking at the steaming dishes on the desk. Rice, fish, miso soup, and some vegetables. A standard breakfast for a somewhat unusual day. I grabbed the bottles from my desk and started taking my daily regimen of pills. Sometimes I wonder if these things are even good, for given all the troubles I've been had since initial accident, I can't say that it doesn't hurt to take, considering the side effects so far. Well, whatever doctor orders are, I have to take them, and rationality suggests that I will serve to trust his judgment over to mine. I was going to say time, but it's mine. It doesn't take long for the noise of the shower to cease, and a quick one apparently being a fine for Lily given the circumstance. I think that's the janitor about to. Yep, that is the janitor doing the vacuum cleaning. Emerging from the bathroom, she looks significantly more awake and having had the chance to collect herself. Oh god, the vacuum cleaner is so strong. Without the word, I gently take her hand in mine and guide her to my desk. Considering I don't have the table in my room as she does, I'll have to do. Thank you, Hazel. What did you prepare for breakfast? Just rice and some vegetables, something fast. Her face lights up at the revelation. That's quite some breakfast. This is normal for you? Now she's just being nice. I have a little doubt concerning her past that this isn't exactly a high-class meal by her standards. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Just because we're students doesn't mean we can't take it lightly. That's my belief anyways, from what others I've talked have said. I might be in the minority. I take a seat on the side of my bed and begin eating together with Lily, her chopsticks slightly tapping out of the alleys of the vegetable just as I noticed her do during our dates. This is quite nice, Hazel. I had no idea you could cook this well. This time, she's much more genuine. I can tell that much. She said cooking really isn't anything special at all. And after a bit of practice, it's much easier, simple as make a dish. Alright. Most of the credit goes to the modern technology. Still, after years of cooking for myself, I should hope so. I got bored of eating instant noodles and ordering pizza every time my parents were both working. So I taught myself how to make a few meals. I'm still trying to get that knack of it though. You'll make a good wife someday, Hazel. You fucking bitch. I take a grain of rice and place it in my thumb before carefully taking aim and giving a good flick. Lily jumps a little as it hits her cheek right on the target. I can't help chugging a little at her expense as she lowers her brow and tries her best to assume harsh and serious expressions. Oh, that's right. What is it? Did you have any problems sleeping last night? You seemed restless. So she was awake back then? Or at least partly so, whether it was my heart or a nightmare caused by the side effects of the medicine. The last thing I want her to be worried about me even more so. Even before my relationship with Lily, I felt my body was a drag on everything I did. My body is a burden alone, so as long as I'm with her, I'll continue to act normally as possible. No, not particularly. Is that so? That's good then. Luckily, she seemed to take me at my word. Come to think of it, there was something else I wanted to ask. Oh. How should I put it? When you dream, do you see people and objects? Yes, of course I do. Wait, yes, of course I feel more a little sheepish to slip the tongue. However, Ernest may be looks unperturbed, though. But don't you taste, feel, nor smell things? I move to answer, but find myself stuck before thinking of it. The more I mull of it, the more I realize of her hypothesis is correct. That's true. I guess I never look at it. Are you saying that you do? For the most part, I only hear in dreams. But yes, sometimes I touch and I smell things as well. I'm just asking since Akira thought it was very strange that I did when I brought it up with her. If you don't either, then maybe it's due to my blindness. That would make sense. You only rely on your senses more than me, so maybe that affects your dreams as well? The wonders of human bodies, I guess. For the rest of the time before school, we quietly eat the hearty breakfast in front of us and change as few pieces of small talk as we do. A quick peek at out of the door assures nobody's looking directly at the entrance for the boys' dormitory, so we walk out in a path clear. The weather is good today. I stretch as slowly and I make our way outside, the bright morning sun beaming down on us. By now, a few students can be seen doing the same, making their way to the main school building, from the dorms or to the main gates. It does feel nice and warm. Our hands linked and hurricane tapping around, we begin our earnest trip to the school building, enjoying chatting thrones the students around us. This will be the last day of exams, no? Yeah, how are you going? How are you going in them? Fairly well. All things considered, you seem a bit stressed by them, though. Is it that obvious? I don't think it's just the exam, though. A lot of stuff has been happening in a short amount of time. I'm not doing that well on humanities subjects. You're doing well in science, though, aren't you? Well, it will be hard not to. It will be hard not to do well in science for me. Come to think of it, I didn't just say that you weren't good at science and maths. She suddenly looks very cheapish. Cheapish, my remark, no doubt hitting home. Lily's sense of pride really can be a double-edged sword. Well, aside from that, have you ever given thought what you might do on that ability? It seems a pity to waste it. A bit mostly at Mutual's prompting. In any case, I'll probably end up doing science as a career in some form. That's good to hear, Hazal. As we enter this, I suddenly receive an unsolicited pat in the back. The green-dressed culprit dances around me to meet me, and really not paying a heed to Lily's at my side. Hey man, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Shut up, Ken, you suck. Hey, just been busy lately with the exams and stuff. Exams. A true Renaissance man needs no study to excel in such things. Kenny does strike me as the kind of person that does well in school, even if he has Harvard attendance record and poor work ethic, so I have little reason to doubt his ability. To be honest, I'm a little envious of him. Between studying for exam and my time with Lily, I have practically no time for myself. Maybe this is a bit like how Yuko feels. Good morning, Satuo, said Tuo. It's good to hear you're doing well. It feels slightly odd to see Lily speaking so formally. She comes to address me more casually over the months. I have seen her speak more formally to classes from time to time as well. Some people never change, I guess. Not that I say her calm and polite manner is a bad thing. It was one of the reasons I like being around her to begin with, after all. Ken just needs to take the moment to work out who it is beside me, and probably has not noticed us holding hands either. I wonder if those glasses of his actually do anything. Oh, hey Lily. Good luck on your exams too. I'll see you after school then, man. A slight edge of his voice makes me think that those words are meant to be imperative rather than catch or farewell. I guess I'll have to smooth things over later. Sure, see ya. Kenji nods curtly and he moves to pass by us, but he's too busy glaring at Lily's general direction to make notice of her cane. Before I can try to react and save the situation, Kenji trips and reflectively reaches out for a handhold. Unfortunately, said handhold turns out to be Lily's arm. Whoa! Ah! Both fall to the ground, a sprawling heap, with me left feeling rather helpless. Oh damn, are you two okay? Can you quickly rise up simply unfazed by the accident? No problem, man, no problem. This is nothing. My body can take much more abuse. Lily lies face down on the grass. She doesn't look hurt by accident, but more startled than anything. I move closer to offer her my help. Are you alright, Lily? Hey, Satao. Can you offer her a hand, tentatively touching hers to let know what he's doing? He says some obvious things out sometimes, but I do think he might be generally a good person at heart. I imagine he feels pretty bad about this. To his surprise and mind, though, Lilly pounced on the ground, fist without warning. Damn it! Kenji freezes entirely, caught by surprise at her outburst. I'm just as shocked she never acted like this before, not even around Shisume. Similarly, only now remembering that there were people around her, Lilly slows climbing to her feet. Her face as she does so makes me retreat a little. I only catch a glimpse of her expression before she turns away, but it's not something I'll forget soon. She showed plenty of annoyance during her clashes with Shisume, but this flash of anger was something else. There's no way that this is just about this petty incident. She pauses for a moment before sighing and walking ahead. I really don't know what to make of this. I'll talk to you later, dude. See ya. Yeah, see ya. Kenji scratches the back of his head, trying to find something to say, and then shrugs away, giving us a wide berth. I quickly catch up to Lilly. She turns her head a little to acknowledge my presence, but nothing else. I should probably scold her for lashing out like that, but I don't want to get into a shouting match with her. She's still very obviously annoying. In the end, I keep my mouth shut and wait for her to cool off. After quiet walking, we eventually reached the top of the third floor stairs in the judgment that we were apart every day. I tend to leave before she leaves. While I do like the comfortable and warm silence we usually share, this was anything but. I don't want to leave things like this. You seem quieter than usual recently. Is anything wrong? She checks her head almost automatically as to dispel any notion that I need to worry about her. It's just exams taking their toll. I'll be fine. I don't think that's the reason. I'm very nearly say so, but decide against it. There's no point trying to draw it out of her if she doesn't want to tell me, especially when she's in a foul mood like this. If you're sure, I'll see you later then. As I turn down the hall to my classroom, Lilly's soft voice rings out behind me. Hisao, yeah? I'm sorry. With that, Lilly makes off down the hallway to her own classroom, her hands skating along the metal railings. I stand still and watch her until she turns into a classroom and out of sight before going to my own class with fair measure of reluctance. As usual, I'm early, Muto filling the folders and papers on his desk as he prepares for the day while a handful of students mill about chatting away. While my feelings about Lilly haven't dissipated far from it, her mention of my exam performance did remind me that I have my own life journey to attend to. After thinking about it, I have realized that I do genuinely want to pursue science in some form of a career rather than just simply being path of least resistance. Or resistance, I don't know. Until now, though, I didn't have much an idea of where in the field I wanted to go. Just science is a pretty broad category for jobs, whatever. Something Leah mentioned earlier focused my thoughts, something I only idly ponder about. I'm not seriously considered following this specific path. I walked to Matua's desk, his attention too focused on preparing for daily lessons to notice my approach is the same every day. Good morning. He looks up, an expression of mild surprise that quickly replaced by his typical awkward smile. Good morning, Nakai. Can I help you? Do you mind if I ask you something? He looks down at his messy pile of books on the desk before putting on down the papers in his hand and standing up with difficulty to properly address me. That's what I'm here for, after all. Ask away. I was wondering, what would you say in this the motivation behind teaching? He thinks on this question for a few moments before responding, evidently far from having a prepared answer. If you talk to 10 different teachers, I think you'll get 10 different answers to that question. While I can only speak for myself, I say I teach because, He sinks into thought again, carefully assessing the way he wishes to present his idea. Think about it this way. When you were a child, you probably played with sticks and pebbles in moving water such as gutters and puddles, right? Yeah, I think a lot of people do that when they were young. Well, it's not just when they're young for some, though it does take on another form. My point is, though, that when one is doing that, they're curious about how water will flow or be changed. Everyone, even at a young age, possesses an intense wonderment about how the world around them works, even if it's for the smallest forms. I feel that sense of wonderment about the universe. Even just reading about new discoveries or classic experiments gives me a new sense of awe at how marvelous everything is, from the farthest stars to the smallest puddles. I just hope that I can give others a small piece of that wonderment I feel. If I can do that, even if I just for one person, I think I can be happy as a teacher. He scratches his head as he mentally reviews what he said. I feel like I genuinely understand him better.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you guys really enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. It shows your support. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this, then subscribe so you never miss a video. Woo!